now. Hey, time for a new video. Probably one of the more iconic guitars is Gibson's Flying V, and they made these in '58. Everybody knows this, but they made only 98 of these. A clean one of these will go for $500,000 if you can even find one, because at that it would sell fairly quick. So what Gibson has done recently is reissued this, and we had a customer that bought one of these and traded it in on a vintage guitar. He had just bought this like recently, and they're doing a pretty good job of this. It is korina. Now korina is African limbo wood, and here's something that I got from the Hamer people back when they were making Hamer korina guitars. Back then they said you can buy African limbo wood, which comes from Central Africa, and if the wood, the logs, get dragged out by oxen, which is the cheap way, and they're traveling 1,000 miles before they get put in someplace where they get sold. But these logs of African limbo wood will pick up spores as they travel across the countryside. The only way to get clean African limbo wood or korina wood is to put it up on a truck and have the truck take it out of there, but that is a lot more expensive in fuel to have a truck drag it out there. So what happens is you as a guitar builder would buy one of these logs, and as you start cutting into it, you realize that a lot of it is just too stained. There's too much mineral streaking inside to make this beautiful clear finish. So you end up rejecting a lot of the wood. So African limbo wood would be used a lot because, like mahogany, or the way it cuts, the lightness of it, the resonance of it, it's really a great wood. And so the Flying V and Explorer were made of this korina wood, and this is a really exacting copy of that first '58 Flying V. And you can see down here, see this pad like that? And so that was on the original Flying Vs. And then when you see these nice square shoulders and this heel over the back and just the shape of the headstock, the gold logo, but that pad means it can sit on a lap a little easier, although really mostly you're going to want to wear the guitar like that. These are meant to be stage guitars. Fun! So, these are really cool exacting copies. They haven't made this out of korina with this detail in some time, and we are lucky enough to get one from somebody that traded it in a vintage thing. Even down here, the camera can look at the case. It even has a case that is a lot like the originals with that. That is, my friends, a cool guitar. These are 10 grand new. They're hard to get. They're a long time on back order, and this will be selling for less, even though it got played for just a week or two. Then we have this, and this is a 1980 Flying V. And when you get past 1980, they went from these mahogany bodies, a lot like korina wood, different species, and it doesn't have quite the shoulders. It doesn't have that big V, and here, I'll show this up. This was always kind of hard to make, kind of hard to manufacture, with the heel over the back as opposed to having that neck put in there, with these shoulders like that. The way it's cut, the headstock shapes are a little different. They did a really good job of this, but these are a little wider than these later reissues. But these reissues that are made of mahogany went till about the early 80s, and they started making these out of alder. Why? Because it's cheaper. And then later on into the 80s, they started making a lot of colors and graphics, and this is kind of the last. This 1980 is the last of the classic 70s Flying Vs. And for these, you kind of got to wear a strap, and that's what these are all about. These are stage guitars, and these have the patent sticker pickups on this. So these patent sticker pickups on this 1980 is these type of pickups from this era have a little more of that upper mid-range. Now there's not as much mass, there's not as much wood here. These are a little thinner sounding. The pickups are a little less output than the 50s. These were arguably, even in this time period, they're meant to have a cleaner sound. They're meant not to feel. You get your distortion from your amp. And these pickups like this too, tend to pedal better. They're less mid-rangey than the higher gain pickups that came out shortly after this. This has a little smaller neck than the reissue. Hendrix played one that looked more like this than the 50s one. This is a vintage guitar these days, and they both go for around the same money, $85 for both of these. This being a reissue and this being the 1980 mahogany. They're great guitars, super light, and really when you're on stage, yeah, right? All right, thanks. Check in on us later.